Hello, everybody. This is Kelli Komondor from K2 Creative, and I'm here with Dorit Sasson, and she is with Business SEO Magic. Dorit, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. Thanks for letting me do that. My name is Dorit Sasson. I am a search engine optimization specialist, which means I help businesses gain visibility, increase conversions, and optimize content with keywords. That's my job.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. I love it. The reason that we're here today and we're recording this to share on Dorit's social media and her YouTube channel and such is because we recently did a webinar with the Monroeville Chamber of Commerce all about SEO. And we were with a lot of business owners and people who are in charge of making sure that their business has the right traffic on their websites, things like that. And I had a lot of questions afterwards. And while I was picking Dorit's brain, I said, wait a minute, stop. I said, we need to record this so you can share it and you can help other people with their SEO also. So she said, all right, it's terrific. Let's do it. And here we are. So, Dorit, tell me a little bit about, or tell us, I should say, tell us a little bit about the pain points that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs have when it comes to search engine optimization.
That's a great question, Kelly. Happy to. The biggest pain point from an SEO standpoint is, well, how can I get people to notice what it is that I'm doing? How can I get them to buy more of our products? How can I get them to know more about our services? We want more leads. Those are typical pain points. And what it takes to get over those pain points is to have what I like to call the classic targeted marketing profile. So to really put it in a nutshell, really understand who your target audience is. And sometimes they don't even always, they know, but they don't always know how to go after that target audience. And that's where keywords and key phrases come in.
That is interesting. So, SEO is important for growing businesses too, not just for brand new businesses. It's for businesses that have been operational for decades, and especially for brand new ones, right? Because they want that attention. They want to get their name out there and get noticed and recognized. So why is it important for people to have the right SEO when they're in that growing stages of their business at the beginning?
Right. It's a great question. And, before I can jump in and give you a quick answer, just preface what is SEO and why does it matter? Right? SEO is a lot of different things. And what I do, the specialty that I do is more on-page work, so that I really work from the content side of things. I'm not really into the technical side of things. Like, it is technical, but I don't do the hardcore technical stuff. So search engine optimization is really convincing Google that your website is very content rich and should rank highly in the search engines. Well, when you're at the very beginning of building a business or building a brand or building a name for yourself, you don't know always what you should be doing first. What should you be doing second? What should you be doing third? From SEO perspectives, people say blog, but then, SEO always gets shoved under the seat or under the carpet. It doesn't get attention. It's all about more pushing more content, but they don't always understand how content and keywords go together, or how having a more SEO driven mindset drives that content forward. So ultimately, they're just looking to kind of push their content, or because somebody said, go blog more, go do this more, go, do more teleseminars or more YouTube videos, but they're not understanding how to put that SEO mindset into action. And so that is the biggest piece, is spending the time, slowing the process down a little bit, and then learning a little bit more about the target audience and how they search. That is an incredibly important thing, how they search. What is it that is driving them to put certain keywords and key phrases? And when you understand that, that will make you golden as a business owner.
Wow, that's really enlightening. And that makes me wonder, and it kind of leads me to what I was thinking to ask you next. It fits really well with this. Why don't more businesses invest in SEO? What's the fear? Do they not understand the return on investment? What stops people from investing in making their websites SEO friendly and optimized?
Yeah. So I ended with understanding your target audience and how they search. Those two things together are time consuming. They take time.
Yeah.
Businesses don't have the time to invest, and they don't want to invest in that time. So for them, it's more, trying to convince a boss or an owner, why SEO? What's the return on investment? And the problem is that they don't see it right away. It takes time, right? So it may not be as immediate as, let's say, doing a speaking engagement or getting sponsors, or doing something that, like a Facebook ad. Maybe think those two take time, but every business has its own model. And so for those reasons, they're just not looking at it from a they're looking at it from a time perspective, but not giving it the time that it needs to invest. So those are typically the two main reasons why they don't want to be bothered. It's A, time consuming, B, they don't have the budget to invest in somebody who's really knowledgeable. And I will add that that person will typically be somebody, if they do SEO, it's typically somebody who's already familiar, like a marketing manager, and that's kind of built into what the operation is. But sometimes they're so strapped and they're wearing so many different hats, and they're too close to their products and their services that they don't do a good job always nailing the right key phrases, nailing the optimization part, nailing the target audience, because they're like busy running the show. They're busy getting the whole show moving, and they're putting out fires, and they're relating to clients and this and that. So the website optimization kind of gets pushed under the carpet. I've seen this many times in many different circumstances. And that is just the nature of the way things are typically. But those are the biggest reasons why they don't invest. And then they realize sometime along the line that, hey, maybe SEO is really crucial for increasing our conversions and our traffic and ultimately our bottom line.
Wow, that makes total sense. And I hope that somebody who's watching this is going to say, wow, this is what has been preventing me from doing it. I've been told it takes time. Maybe somebody doesn't believe it, or they need proof that it just takes time to do all that research and to make it work. Let me ask you one more question before we close. Speaking of time, what is the right time to invest in SEO? Or when, I should say, when is the right time?
Well, this is, the $1 million question. When? I would, if your budget is not unlimited, but you have a budget and it's a modest budget, I would say go for it, because, even if you don't have site authority in the space that you're in, like meaning your website is young, you're in another space with other competitors who are more established brands and they're well known in that space. It typically, as we've mentioned before, takes time, right? So you get on the bandwagon early so that you can get your foot in the door. It's very competitive out there. So it really does depend on a budget. That's what it really comes down to, the bandwidth, and also the timeline. Like, what are you looking to ramp up? That typically is how it will happen. Now, I will say that the when is also, maybe they have a product coming out, right? Or a service coming out, that it's really important to optimize certain key pages, certain key service pages for that company, for that business. And so they're a well optimized website will get you traffic, but you need to have a plan to get you there. Okay. So for optimization purposes, from SEO purposes, the person who's doing it needs time, right? The keywords are not automatic and funneled through, artificial intelligence. We are still humans, thinking like humans. And even with all the technology, it's still a manual type process. It's still thinking, and getting those right ones out there. And that takes time. So I would say it depends on the goals, the SEO goals of a certain business. What do they want to achieve in what time frame? And of course, their budgets.
That's really enlightening. That's just, and I don't think anyone puts that much thought into it. They just assume they're going to bring on an
Right,
SEO specialist.
right, right,
And you're
right,
going to snap your fingers, or, I dream of Genie, nod your head, and boom,
right,
like you
right.
said, it just doesn't happen by
Mm,
osmosis. There's
it-
work involved.
there's a ton of work involved. It's very much targeted. It's very much customized, and it has to be. There is just no shortcut to it. Keyword research takes time. Keyword research analysis, there's no shortcut to doing keyword research, period. No
And
matter
who
what.
wants a shortcut? When you're working on your own business, you don't want to take shortcuts. You want to make sure that if you're hiring someone and bringing them on board to help your business, that they are putting their best foot forward. They are making an effort to do things the right way. So that totally makes sense that there is no shortcut to it. It's no magic little button that you push and it just happens. That's
Right.
some really great information, Dorit. Let's end this now. Let me think of some more questions and maybe we'll pop back on and record another one, maybe one day this week or so, and then we can post that to your social and make sure that people are aware of what you're doing. Dorit's website is doritsasson.com, DORITSASSON.com. She has a great blog in the website where you can read a lot about SEO and lots of information on her services or on her website. So yeah, let's hop back on and do another one soon.
I'm all for education.
All right. Thanks, Dorit. We'll talk to you soon.
Takes